Welcome to After the Pool, the video series where I take you through the realms of Marvel, DC, and independent comics, and I share all my thoughts and opinions with you. And by the time we get to the end of the video, obviously there's going to be a pick of the week, and don't forget we're going to be continuing the coverage of Batman Nightfall in the classic realm. I'm Mike Spider Slayer. Welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. If you love daily comic book content, you like me helping you make decisions on what comic books to buy, you guys came to the right place. Hit that subscribe button. You're not going to be disappointed. We got quite a few comics to discuss. So with that being said, let's get started. Welcome to the realm of Marvel Comics. Only two to discuss. The other ones were discussed in Worthy Ones. So if you guys want to check that video out, I'm going to leave it at the end of this video. All right, so coming in at number 2, we have Cloak or Dagger. This is issue 2, one of the few Age of Revelation books that I have stuck with. And this is a book where there's a battle going on between Von Strucker's kids who are mutants and believe in the Age of Revelation cause, right? And in this book, what I found myself more interested in was actually the dynamic between Cloak and Dagger and how they are 10 years later, how they share a relationship, obviously, with their daughter here, because they have to go into a place that's called the In-Between. They can't be on the same place at the same time, or something is actually going to happen to them. So maybe they die or whatnot. It's still not stressed in this comic book on what actually happens, right? We wind up getting to see the allies of Cloak and Dagger. One of them gets changed into a mutant, and now he goes and believes into the mutant cause as well. Causes a lot of mischief and mayhem. I would say that the artwork is pretty good in here, and I thought this book is a readable comic. Like, it's not the best thing, but it is a decent book to where I want to say, you know what, I'm going to see this thing all the way through to the end. There's only 3 issues here, and I'm looking forward to it. It's not groundbreaking. You don't have to spend money if you don't want to, but I like it. But I would say a top pick from Marvel this week has got to go to Black Cat, issue 4, as we do see G. Willow Wilson, gathering her footing here when it comes to the Black Cat character. And more and more that I read this, the more and more that I like it. I love the way she writes Black Cat. I love how she uses her good luck powers, or her bad luck powers, I should say. And we do wind up seeing Felicia in this book captured by Tombstone and Sandman. And he's kind of keeping her in this prison cell to obviously teach her a lesson, not letting her out of his sight, to jeopardize future long-term projects, right? And it was pretty cool just trying to see like the inner workings between Black Cat on how she's maybe going to try to get out of this prison. And I do like the good character interactions here between Tombstone and Felicia here on, their perspective on being the bad guy and maybe not relying on good looks, where she has had certain attributes to help her get by, and maybe some bad luck powers. And it was pretty cool, man. I really liked it. By the time you wind up getting to the end of it, you do wind up seeing Felicia kind of set up. Really solid book. I think this one is, again, getting better and better the more that you read it. So if you're a Black Cat fan, I would definitely pick this book up. Welcome to DC Comics. This is where it was heavy this week, guys. I got 7 DC Comics to talk about on this week's episode of After the Poll, and you got 3 DCKO tie-ins and DCKO issue number 2. So that's 4 out of the 7 books here that have to do with DCKO. So here we go. DCKO tie-in, The Flash, issue 27. This comes in at number 7 for me when it comes to DC this week. Just not my favorite book. Like I said in the past, I have not been reading Flash, so I don't really know what's been going on. And I know this is kind of tying into DCKO, where you wind up getting to see Flash go after Impulse as he's trying to stop, I guess, the Legion from taking over the time stream. Max Mercury is involved as well. It's just something that I'm not currently into. If you're a fan of Flash and maybe the Flash family, this might be something for you. But I feel like this is kind of loosely tied into the DCKO events, and this is just not something that I'm looking for while reading DCKO. I really I could care less of what's going on with Impulse, right? I would have loved to seen maybe Flash in here in the main tournament, but he's not. So yeah, it is what it is. I think the artwork was pretty good. There was some decent action in here, but nothing to say, oh my God, this is like the greatest tie-in. This is not a tie-in that you must read. All right, so next, coming in at number 6, we have Justice League Unlimited, issue 13. I thought the first issue of this DCKO tie-in, issue 12, was well handled, and I was really excited to read issue 13. Unfortunately for me, when it came to this issue, it was back to the point where I didn't like Justice League Unlimited to begin with. It just seems like there's too many characters. It's all over the place. It's in your face. You don't know what's up, what's down. The characters don't really mean anything. So if they die, it's kind of like, well, they don't mean anything, right? So who cares? And it was just kind of just, I don't know, it was just there. I didn't feel like there was like this real direction in there. I could be wrong. This was just something I could not sink my teeth into whatsoever this week. It was just, again, why I did not like Justice League Unlimited to begin with. There's just too much going on, and I just don't like when it's all chaotic like that. So yeah, unfortunately, this I don't know if I'm going to be reading the next issue. I know I'm reading a lot of the DCKO and tie-in stuff just to get the overall experience, but the same thing. This is just missions that are going on that don't have to deal with the actual tournament. So I don't know if I'm going to be continuing it. All right, so coming in at number 5, we have Absolute Wonder Woman. This is issue 14. Issue 15 is the one that you're going to want to get because it has Absolute Batman in it. So it's going to be the first time those two are going to be crossing paths with each other. So that's a big book. This one is a story where we have to deal with Absolute Wonder Woman dealing with an inverse version of herself, and she's trying to figure out where that version comes from and how to stop it. I thought that the artwork in here was actually really good. It's not the normal artist, but I love the way Wonder Woman was drawn. I do love the way, like, the action that took place in here. It's Mateus Bergaria is the artist in here. It's a very similar style, but I just like, again, everything that was the way it was done. Like, I like her muscle definition, the way the hair was, the facial expressions, and just the battling that happened. And just seeing Wonder Woman kind of overcome this and, I guess, use the aid of a particular god to help the situation, I thought was awesome. So this was a really good book. Maybe not my favorite story because it's kind of just a two-parter here and doesn't really have to do with, I guess, the main story that's been going on, but it's still a solid read, and I love Absolute Wonder Woman comic. All right, coming in at number 4 is a really fun issue this week, Green Lantern issue 29. Kind of takes a break of what's going on with the main story, but it does tie in a little bit to it. There's Hal Jordan has seen something in the book of Oa that is messing with his mind, and so what he does is he goes to his good friend Ollie to go hang out with him. So yeah, we get to see a Green Arrow and Green Lantern classic team up, and seeing this team up between our two characters was absolutely awesome, as they're trying to get this robot that is dealt with the Omega symbol that has to do with the future of Earth, which has to do with maybe what's going on in DCKO. So there's a lot of stuff that's tying in. But I think what makes this issue so great is, again, the dynamic between Hal and Ollie, and that is a lot of fun. There's this one point in the comic where there's this construct that is created between Hal and Ollie, which makes for such an awesome scene, right? And I was like, that is great. That is an absolutely awesome team up at its finest. One moment right there. So really good book, a fun read right here. Green Lantern has yet to disappoint. All right, So top 3 for DC, we have Superman. This is issue 32. So this really ties in heavily to DCKO issue 2. Like when you read DCKO issue 2, this book takes scenes right from it, like interactions from Superman and Lex Luthor. So if you haven't read your books yet, read DCKO first, then read all these tie-in issues, right? So you get to see, obviously, more interactions between Clark and Lex Luthor in here. You also get to see some fun moments in here between Superboy Prime and Lois. And Lois does get her powers back. And if you read the last issue, you kind of, that's not really a spoiler. We know that that's what happened. So she's like Superwoman once again. And you also learn kind of how the villains wind up getting the one up on Superman on them entering into the tournament, how they tricked him thinking that they were in the Phantom Zone, right? But what made this book cool was kind of like the point of view of like Lex on how he saw things, on how maybe the villains could be an aid towards Superman instead of villains and working against him. So he automatically thought of the worst when it came to the villains in this tournament. So I thought that was an interesting take there on Lex Luthor's outlook. So yeah, really, really good book, man. Definitely recommend that one too. All right, and then coming in at number 2, this was a toss-up, but I'll tell you why the other book gets number 1. Number 2 is Absolute Batman. This is issue 14. This is always a recommend, no matter what, even though it's not that top pick from DC this week. But Absolute Batman issue 14 was absolutely phenomenal. It is the battle between Bane and Batman that you've been waiting for this entire time, this whole build-up. The artwork is absolutely amazing in here. Nick Dragotta just hits it out of the park, and just seeing Bane start off as this huge brute force to this big gargantuan, over-exaggerated, insane monster to defeat Batman was just so much fun, dude. I absolutely loved it. And Batman's back is against the wall. You wind up seeing Killer Croc in here going against Bane to try to team up. And the ending is absolutely awesome. And by the time you wind up getting to the end of this, is it truly the end of Bane? I don't think so, man. But gosh, this book was so phenomenally done. It was just a visual masterpiece. I think Nick Dragotta had to do this issue to really showcase what this story was about. Absolutely phenomenal read here. All right, but my top pick, my personal top pick, and I want to know in the comments below, what was your favorite DC book of the week, was DCKO issue 2. I think this is the book where it really kicks off the event. Am I right? I mean, so good. There's action from beginning to the end. It sets up the plot in place. You feel like you're playing a freaking video game or watching this intense movies. You wind up getting to see the contestants at hand, and they have to go searching for a particular item that is that they need to go into the next round. So it's not even battles, right? It's items. So if you find the item, then you get to move on. And just seeing all these heroes and villains battle each other to find the weapon in order to move on, it was intense. It was action-packed. And there was this one scene with the Joker in here where he gets huge and he starts eating people, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. And just everything that came with this book was so, I would say, crowd-pleasing, right? This was like an epic movie when I read this book, and I was at the edge of my seat. There's something that happens with Superman in here. Just great and epic moments. Absolutely love this. And why this also gets the top DC pick this week was because it's a main continuity book. It's not an Elseworld book, where Absolute Batman is great in its own, but this is a main book. And when was the last time that you read, there's been good, don't get me wrong, DC comics, like really good ones, but to a point where it's an event, right? Where it's this good from DC. I thought this was awesome. Such a great comic book. Welcome to the independent realm. Yes, guys, the indies are where it's at. They're always so good, right? And this week I had 4 indies to discuss. And the first one we're talking about coming in at number 4 is The Invisible Man. This is the conclusion. This is issue 4. And issue 3 was my top pick of the week. Like, it got pick of the week. It was so well done. Now, this one is the last issue, and you're kind of wondering, okay, well, what's going to happen to this guy, right? He wound up getting this kid who wound up getting loose because he was experimenting on the kid to see if he can make a human invisible. And again, the kid freaking leaves, right? So now what happens is our good doctor has to kind of retire basically and doing projects, and he's trying to think like the boy and trying to find out, what do I need to capture this boy to not have him ruin my life, and can I use the serum again to make myself invisible? And so this entire issue, you wind up seeing him plot and try to see if he can stop this boy. Is he successful or not? Well, obviously, you'll have to read it to find out. I don't think this one was as strong as issue 3, but I do think it was really good. And my thing of it was, I wish it was a little bit better of an ending to see where this doctor becomes invisible and then he loses his mind. And you kind of don't get to see that all that much. He's really revenging or coming up with this plot to get revenge against this boy. So it was good, don't get me wrong. It just wasn't as strong, or it wasn't the ending that I thought it was going to be. All right, so coming in at number 3 is going to be Skinbreaker. This is issue 3. I think that's where we're at with this one, yeah? And things have definitely become full circle now when it comes to this. This is the chieftain that you saw in issue 1, but he was a much younger warrior at the time, and obviously he wound up taking control of the tribe. And now, based off of what happens in this comic book, he is going to get challenged, right? Because of certain events that happened in this particular issue. Now, this book, you wind up seeing the chief leader wind up doing battle against these creatures that you've seen on and off again, right? And things just go south. I mean, these creatures are threatening the whole tribe, and that's why the young warrior wants to challenge the chief. So we're going to see if the elder here can actually come up on top or not. So I really like this book. I think it's really well done. The story is not this huge dialogue dump, but it is a visual masterpiece. And I love how Kirkman allows David Finch to tell his story here. So this is a solid book. Really enjoy this one. All right. And then coming in at number 2, we have Geiger. This is issue 18. It's been off for a couple months, and we wind up getting to see Geiger here stuck in this prison. Meanwhile, you have this pirate that is looking for this treasure that's underneath this prison, and there is a situation that's going to happen with Geiger, and it's the perfect opportunity for the pirate to uncover this lost treasure. What's this lost treasure? Well, you'll have to read it to find out. And we do wind up getting to see Tyreek actually commit this crime that he shouldn't commit, and it allows him to get electrocuted. Does he survive? Does he die? Again, you'll have to read it to find out. Awesome read. Love the ending of this book. If you read it, you know what I'm talking about. So good. All right. But of course, my top pick when it comes to the indies this week goes to Feral. This is issue 18 as we are continuing the story with Pet City, right? So we wind up seeing that there's a new ruler in town of Pet City, and it happens to be Lucky. Now, is Lucky's methods the right methods? I don't know. He is kind of playing the sides of every single cat or animal in this issue, and you kind of get to see that as you're reading that. So is it the intentions the best for him, or is it the best for the entire cat community here? So things are going to hit the fan, I think, when it comes to this particular character, right? And it leaves off with an interesting cliffhanger. But the interesting thing is how are these cats going to survive? Because they're going through all the cat food, all the dry food pretty quickly. And there is canned food, but the cats can't open the canned food, which I thought was very realistic, right? So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this. And this was definitely my top pick when it came to Feral issue number 18. I don't know why I said 12. And now we're going to see which book is going to be in contention for pick of the week based off of worthy ones. And then once again, I will tell you that I will leave that video at the end of this one so you can check it out in full detail. But the books that were discussed were I Saw Santa, this is issue 1. Dynamite Blood Red, this is issue 1. This was Batman Green Arrow and The Question Arcadia, this is issue 1. Daredevil and Punisher, this is issue 1. The Infernal Hulk, issue 1. Arcadia, this is issue 1. Really good book. And Deadhead, this is issue 1. So I went back and forth between these two books because I thought they were really good, which was I Saw Santa issue 1 and the Infernal Hulk issue 1. But I think for worthy ones, the pick of the week is got to go to the Infernal Hulk issue 1. That's right, guys. This out of the gate was absolutely phenomenal. So it goes in contention with pick of the week. So here we go, recapping the 4 books that could get pick of the week. The first one from Marvel goes to Black Cat issue 4, DC KO issue 2, Feral issue 18, and the Infernal Hulk issue 1. And the pick of the week goes to, yeah, guys, DC KO. This is issue 2. Just too solid of a book. I'm not taking anything away from Infernal Hulk, though. That book really surprised me. But that was just like the first issue. It can go balls to the walls. This is an event that's been building, and it has yet to disappoint me. I loved how there was action here from beginning to end. It feels like it means something, and I can't wait for issue 3. So congratulations to DCKO issue 2 on getting the pick of the week. And welcome to the classic realm where we are discussing Batman Nightfall. Guys, we are on part number 6 already, and it's been a lot of fun. So, this book was released on April 22nd, 1993. Detective Comics issue 661. Again, Nightfall part 6. 32-page comic for the low price back then of $1.25. You remember those days? The writer here is Chuck Dixon, and Granum Nolan does the art. So here is the main cover of the book. Looks pretty badass, right? And I think what was really good about this book was, yes, you get the continuation of the Scarecrow and the Joker kind of toying with the mayor of Gotham in this book, but the much cooler element of this story, in my opinion, was Firefly. I thought it was really well done. They make him very scary, and you kind of learn about the story of him and a little bit like where he came from, and seeing Batman trying to escape him and his flames, and just again him being continued to get worn down. I thought was really awesome. The funny thing is you wind up getting to see the ventriloquist still trying to figure out where his puppet's at. So I thought that was a cool little moment in there. There's just so many fun things that are going on in this Nightfall series. You also get the Riddler here. And again, what I like about this story so far, that we're 6 parts into it, is that it really showcases all of Batman's rogues gallery, and I think that's what's awesome. It's not just a Bane story; it's an every character story, right? And then again, it ends off with Batman continuing to do battle against Firefly. So I really liked this issue. I thought it was fun. It's not my favorite issue per se so far when it comes to Nightfall, but this one was a really good one. I'm looking forward to the next part. And there you have it, webheads. There are all my thoughts and opinions. I want to know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. Were you a fan of Infernal Hulk? Did you love Absolute Batman? Do you like DCKO? Do you hate DCKO? Love hearing everything you guys have to say in the comment section below. And until then, I'll leave you more content right here for you to click on. Like I said, worthy ones if you want to check out all my thoughts and opinions on the newest issue ones. And of course, guys, support the local comic shops. Keep buying, keep collecting. But always remember, read your comics so we can have great comic conversation, guys. I'll see you on the next video. Take care.